what has made this sustainable for you? Because this is years. You've been in this for years now, and there's no turning back. But like, why do you know now? Obviously, the mental, emotional shifts have been huge. You're a new man, and you face those demons, and you're no longer being driven and controlled by some of these things, and you have such positivity. But on your nutrition, what really worked for you in the plan? Because obviously, that was a big part of your weight loss.
I'm an academic, I like the theory of everything. And that's one of the things I loved about your program, is that it wasn't just a program that said, okay, do this, this, and this, and trust. But you got into some of the theory explaining why this works. And that helps me because, I like to feel like I'm in control. I'm a perfectionist. And, one of the things I struggled with early on was trusting the perfect plate, not weighing anything, just kind of eyeballing it. And I did that. I'll confess, I did that for the first couple of months, but eventually I sat down and I figured out how many calories that I was really eating because I wanted to know. I actually wanted to know. I wanted a target. I just, that's how I am. So, but I enjoyed the way that I guess that you slowly worked in new aspects. So, for the first month, we're going to make these changes, but it's a lot, but it's not crazy, and then the next month, okay, now we're going to introduce this new idea, this just little bit extra in the diet to help here and to keep your body from plateauing. And then in the third month, now we're going to try some carb cycling. And I liked that because it sort of eases you into doing something that you haven't really done. But I think for me that it was the process that you asked us to sit down and write out our reasons. And for me, the reasons that I had to change were more emotionally important to me than anything I wanted to eat. And I think that's really what did it for me. And once I had that, I was willing to forego anything. I was willing to make any sacrifice or any change in order to uphold those things, those goals that I had, those reasons that I had. And I started to track more and more, and I wanted to be more in control. I wanted to do well when I was out. I wanted to participate with my family when we went out to eat. And you give some guidance in the meal plan, but a lot of times we weren't going to those restaurants. And so I began digging around, and I found out a lot of restaurants publish their nutrition information. And so I had an idea of, I'm going to focus on things that are grilled, things that are either fresh or grilled, green, and not boiled in fat. From my family are from South Carolina, and every vegetable is cooked with fat. And that I love green beans with bacon and all that. But it permeated everything that I did. And the meal plan got me started on that. And then I got to where, honestly, I felt like I don't use the meal plan because I've just developed a habit of the way that I eat. It's just how I am. Even a cheat meal, I always find myself looking for the healthiest cheat meal. I can't. It's funny. I laugh at myself because I love wings. We'll go to Buffalo Wild Wings, but I don't do the fried ones. And I'm still looking for if I'm going to get any kind of sauce on it for a free meal. Is it I'm gonna get the lowest calorie, or I'll go for the dry rub. But it really, and I think that it was those initial stages of learning and challenging myself to fast for a day, and then to just have a salad to break a fast, or to cycle the car, or whatever it was. I developed the discipline in doing that then allowed me to go on and just continue doing that without feeling like I had to always go to the meal plan and look and say, okay, what should I be having today? I sort of had an idea. Okay, I really got to a point where I just did like I do now with the old school muscle. I just had an idea of macros. When I was trying to lose fat, I just got to the point where I'm going to aim for a gram to a gram and a half of protein per body weight. I'm going to aim for about whatever's left. I'm going to make 30% of that healthy fats and the rest of it carbs, and a lot of that's carbs. And that just became the way I did everything.
I think you said some really important and subtle things that I want to highlight for people listening. It's in the beginning, it's really important to have this structure, right? To have this structure to start on, which you followed it to the T. You got the emotional commitment, you followed it. But in time, that structure turns into this flexibility. And for you, as an intellectual guy who wants to understand the architecture, I think that is so essential. Because when you understand the why of things and some of the theory, it makes all the decisions have much more meaning. And it's in this greater architecture of all this stuff that makes sense. So for guys who are geared like you, who want to track, you need to have a program that gives you the ability to fit your personality. Yet, for guys like this who are a little more, don't necessarily want to count the calories, you also need to have a solution. So it needs to fit your personality, because that means there's not friction, right? And so you discovered that. Yeah. And now you have this system. And now you know when you look, I bet now, Chris, which is amazing, when you look at food at a restaurant, you can generally say how many calories are in that. You look at a plate of food and you're like, that's probably more or less like, this is this roughly amount of protein, this and this. And that's a superpower, because now wherever you go, you have the ability to kind of like auto-regulate your own nutrition. And that's so powerful.
It's freeing. It really is freeing. I understand completely that there are people that hate to do that. And I think that's what's so great about the way you have Fit Father program set up, is that for those guys that don't want to bother with tracking stuff, that they're going to follow that and they're going to have great results. There's just no way, because if they're doing that and they're working out, and they're doing Apex 10 or whatever, and there's no way that they're not going to benefit and see those results. And I'm just kind of one of those people that I like, I want to take something apart and figure out how it works, and I find security in it. I like it when I get to the end of the day and I have my Fitness Pal out and I look, okay, bam, I hit all of my macros within 5 or 10 grams. And, I go to bed satisfied that I've won the day nutritionally. There's something about that I did my workout, I nailed my nutrition, I got all my water in, and and that's just who I've become. It's hard to explain to people. I have run into people that come up and they'll say, Christopher, what did you do? And I think they want me to tell them I found some magic pill, and then when I tell them it's good old fashioned diet and exercise, it's just their faces will fall. But, it's really that's the key, that's how our bodies were made to be. If we use them and we care for them, they take care of us. And if we don't, they don't take care of us either, and it shows.